Good morning from the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. It's really cold.
Yeah, I guess you don't really think about this thing being in October, but it is. It is cold.
So this is our first morning here. We got in yesterday. However, the evening sessions were canceled because it was too windy. So we all crossed our fingers and hoped for the wind to go away, and it did. So we now have been watching the morning session, which they have dawn patrol, which we learned is when they send up a couple balloons to test the waters, and it gives the other balloonists, they can watch those balloons and kind of see how the wind is affecting them so they can plan their course a little bit better. And then after a couple dawn patrol balloons, then they start bringing up the other balloons. So this morning was just a regular ascension, because they have something called mass ascension, which they're doing tomorrow, and they just release like all the balloons go up at once, so that's going to be really cool. But it was a regular ascension, and then they did
special shape rodeo.
That's right. So we have been seeing some pretty funny balloons come on by here. There's one, I'll try and get it. I think it's a raccoon, and Jason thinks it's a wolf. So we still have no idea. So why is this Balloon Fiesta one of the biggest?
So here in Albuquerque, they have like a special thing. They have a wind pattern that goes south in the lower elevations, like 1,000 feet off the ground, goes south. But then if you go higher, it goes north. And so the balloons are actually able to just go up, and then they're able to change direction and come back their same path. But that only happens about 30% of the time. And it happens early in the morning or sometimes late at night. But the heat from the ground will disrupt it, kind of like oil and vinegar, and mess up the two wind streams.
All right, and so we are technically sitting right in the middle of the wind streams?
Yeah, it's called, so especially here, they have this big open field in the South RV lot where the balloonists try to aim for, and then they go up at the end of it and try to head back to the field. Obviously this morning it didn't really work out for the upper wind stream because all the balloons ended up way south, and some are like really, really far south.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe tomorrow though. So it's a 30% chance, so every 3 days or so, hopefully.
Yeah, and some went way the wrong way like that, and some even went the opposite direction from the field. So you never really know here at the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. Rested up for the rest of the day, and we are now here on the launch field at what is called the Balloon Glow. So we learned that the Balloon Glow was actually invented here in Albuquerque in 1979 because the balloonists lit up their balloons to look like ornaments on Christmas Eve, and then it became a thing.
Yeah. And
in, I think it was 87, Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta became the largest balloon glow. So it is so cool.
it's just all the special shapes right now too. So it's crazy that they can make some of these things into hot air balloons.
Yes, I'm not even sure some of these can fly. These shapes are so outrageous. But you can't help but pick some of your favorites. So I think right at the top there's Astronaut for me and Smokey the Bear.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
So I'm a fan of the Astronaut. It reminds me of our Coachella days. They had a big astronaut there.
That's true.
Smokey the Bear's great because you should always be campfire safe. So.
All right, well, we're gonna show you around a little bit more. We've made it back to our RV for the evening, and tonight was really fun. I didn't really know what to expect, and I think that's good. I like it when we go into certain situations and we don't have expectations.
Yeah.
So the launch field was just full of balloons, as you saw. And then after they were done with Evening Glow, they took all the balloons down, and then I forget what they officially called it, but they had 4 skydivers jump out of a plane, obviously, but their bodysuit was lit up and they had fireworks coming off of them.
Yeah, like launching off their feet.
Was it off their feet? I have no idea.
Yeah, they had like...
how they were doing that.
They had like regular, like, you know, streamers behind them, like of fireworks.
Which I thought was cool enough.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that.
But then they started launching like mortars off of their feet. I swear to God, they were like shooting them at each other too.
I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I just kept saying like, this feels really dangerous to me. And then they all, you know, eventually came down after playing with fireworks, and they all landed on the field. So it was just really cool. And then after that, they had a full fireworks show. But if you remember from our Chicago vlog, we're kind of over fireworks, but they do fireworks every night, which all the kids there loved. And this event feels age appropriate for anyone.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like we've seen hot air balloons before at Lake Havasu, glowing or doing their glowdio, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And we saw it from afar and we're like, oh, that looks kind of cool, and like you see them light up, but like being up close and seeing them light up, it's a whole different thing, especially when there's so many and just that noise of the propane.
Yeah.
The hot air balloon noise.
Yeah. So tomorrow, as I mentioned before, is Mass Ascension. Dawn Patrol is at 6 a.m. They do a morning glow at 6:30 a.m. and then Mass Ascension is at 7 a.m. So we are so tired from getting up early this morning, but we want to be on the field again for Mass Ascension. We don't want to watch it from the RV. So the goal is, we actually want to catch morning glow too, which is at 6:30. So the goal is to be up and over there.
All right.
All right, guys, it's a Balloon Fiesta miracle. Well, I'm talking about how hard it is to get up, but in reality, you get up fine. It's me. I'm not a morning person, but we made it. Kind of. So we were a little bit late because we got here just in time, and then getting in was insane. There were so many people here, and their system to check your tickets to get in is just not good.
Yeah.
So
budget an extra 30 minutes just to get through the gates.
yeah. So we saw some balloons taking off, and there's definitely not as nearly all ready to go. Behind us is pretty much the only balloons that are ready to go. There's
She's
still
so up in the air.
Yeah.
I think that's
I think
patrol.
maybe like 10 or 15 took off.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was dawn patrol or part of the morning glow, but either way, evening glow is way better than morning glow.
Oh, we don't know. We don't know if they're just running behind, and maybe they'll do the glow with all the balloons blown up.
That's true. You're giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I think we're getting ready here for mass ascension, because now there's hundreds, what looks like, of other balloonists getting their balloons ready to go and unfolding them and stuff. So we are still very excited about mass ascension, so we're going to try and watch it from like the middle of the field here and get really up close and personal with the balloons. And I need coffee.
So probably about 85 to 90% of the balloons have taken off already. There's a couple more that just keep popping up. Yeah, and we were talking to one of the chase crew earlier, and he told us that the box is working today. So you can see like these balloons over here are going south, and that's like low level is going south. And then you look at the vast majority of balloons is actually over here to the north, because if you go up, he said it was a lot higher today, but you have to go up, you know, like 500, 600 feet to then catch the northward wind. So the most of the balloons are way north of us now. But it's very interesting to see them go south low, and then just everyone else is going north. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, it makes for a really cool event, because you get to see them all take off. They pass over your head depending on where you're standing on the field, but then you get to see them all come back. So I'm really glad that the box was working today, because it just made for a really cool event. This was so fun. This has been a bucket list item.
Absolutely.
But I just thought it was going to be cool to see them up close and this and that. But there's other aspects of this event that when you're here in person, just the energy, everyone cheers when a balloon gets off the ground. And as you can see, there's hundreds of balloons. So there's been hundreds of little like woos of everyone cheering. And again, like everyone's just having a really good time, and there's so many different balloons to look at. So The pictures and the video footage it'll show you how beautiful it is, but you're gonna have to come here yourself to just experience the fun vibe of it all.
Yeah, and if you want to stay in your RV, I think it opens like 10 days after today.
To
buy tickets for your RV, and they sell very, very quickly.
Yes.
The best spot is, I think they call it President's View, but it's like $200 a night, but you're right on the...
Definitely the best spot.
Oh, absolutely. You're backed up on this hill overlooking the entire fairgrounds, so you can roll out of bed at 7 o'clock and just watch from either your windshield or your windows inside your nice warm RV.
Yes. Or you've got a very short walk to the field.
Yeah.
If you want to come down here.
Yeah, or like the cheaper area that I think is the best would probably be the South Lot box view, which is what we happen to get, because you're going to be right on like a nice open area. I mean, anything here is going to be great. Like even if you get standard, it just means you're not up against like a wide open area, but the balloons are up in the sky, so that matters a little bit less.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely add it to your list if it's not already on there.
So it is the final farewell mass ascension this morning, and we decided to stay here at our RV.
Yes.
But we're not missing out on any of the action. That's a great thing about the South Lot.
Yes.
Is they land right behind you.
Yes. So if you want to be very close, we recommend box view because we can just walk out of our RV and look at them. But obviously, if you're in a surrounding area, you can just walk over here too. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. I think this is definitely something you need to do. We've had it on our list since we left, and then I don't know, I wasn't as excited for it in the last like coming month. I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. We've seen hot air balloons, but you have to experience it.
Yeah.
It's definitely something you need to do, and it's completely different in an RV.
Yes. So we're gonna enjoy the rest of our time here, but I have been thinking of tips for you guys over the last couple days, so I want to make sure that I jot those down, organize my thoughts, and let you know so you can have the best experience when you're here. We've gathered our thoughts and we've jotted down our tips, and so this is going to be like a lightning round kind of Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta tip overload, but this will mostly apply for 2021 if you haven't already purchased your tickets, your RV tickets for 2020, because I know by the time this video comes out, 2020 will most likely already be sold out. This event sells out same day for RV sites, and yeah, so we actually announced it on our Facebook and our Instagram, and we let people know some of these tips already because we're behind on YouTube and we at least wanted to get it out. So if you don't follow us on Instagram and Facebook, you might want to do that, because we do try and information just comes out a little bit faster there. That's what we'll say. To have the best time in the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, let's quickly talk about the different RV site options, because this was something that gave me a ton of anxiety when we were planning ours, and I just had this fear that we were going to get a bad spot, or I just didn't know what the best spot was, and I'd look at the map and I didn't know. So obviously the best spot is Presidential. However, that is $250 a night. So if you want to splurge and you know this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime event that you just really want to attend, go for it. Go for Presidential. It's the closest to the field. You get basically front row seats every single day you're there. So, I mean, even if you go just 1 or 2 nights, just to say you did it, you could.
Yeah, it's definitely once in a lifetime.
Yeah. And then it goes down from there. VIP is $100 per night, premium is $95 per night, and then where we were, which was 100% dry camping, is the South RV lot. We had box view, which was $50 per night, right?
Yep. And standard was $40. So
oh, okay.
I think if you don't get Presidential, the other sites like premium and VIP, they have electrical and some water hookups, but I think if you have an RV that you should be able to go to one of the dry camping spots in the South Lot, and that's where we stayed, and it was actually a great location. We were kind of worried that it was going to be too far away, but the balloons come right to you, and then the difference between standard and box view is box view's like on the field where they try to crash land, and standard is just next to each other.
Anywhere in that area. Yeah. So box view, you just are backing up into the box that they land in. So if the price difference is $10, you might as well go for it. We had a great time sitting on top of the RV, getting to see some of the RVs land right there.
Yep. The hot air balloons. Well, BRVs aren't landing.
And as far as length of time, we went back and forth on this, and we think a minimum of 4 nights. Jason was even saying 7 days.
Yeah, and that's only, I mean, it's not because of what you could see. I think like four nights gets you seeing all the special shapes, the glodios, daytime, nighttime. But you also have to be aware of weather. So while weather is normally kind of pleasant in Albuquerque at that time, we did experience a high winds night, and they didn't put any of the balloons up. So you got to worry about that. And of course, like we said before, the box is around a 30% of like a nice weather day. So 4 days will get you the bare minimum of being able to see the balloons go up and see everything.
Yes, but, and when you're staying in the RV, some of the best parts is just getting to roll out of bed and walk outside and see them. So we highly recommend staying in your RV and watching, you know, the mass ascension from afar, but then have a couple nights there so you can go watch the mass ascension on field. You definitely want both types of experiences, and I don't necessarily think one is better than the other. Yeah,
they're just different. And we didn't really understand the like tickets thing for getting onto the field, and it's really first come, first serve. I think you can buy tickets in advance that make it a little bit easier, but don't stress out. If you show up and you don't have tickets, sort of like half the people there, so you just wait in line, and they sell tickets for the morning show and for the night show, right?
When we went, they were $10 each.
Yep.
So expect to pay an additional $10 to $20 per day if you want to go into the field for each event.
So as we talked about in the video, it was really cold, at least for our California blood, but it did warm up fast. So don't wear just like your largest jacket. We totally recommend layering, which is something we're learning to do since we've never had to before. And that way you can slowly strip off layers as the day goes on and the morning just warms up, because towards the end it was getting pretty hot and we had to take off all of our jackets.
Yeah. And then also if you're staying in your RV and planning on how to get to the actual field, they offer a shuttle. We rode our bikes most of the time, which was easier. They also have a bike valet there that they were trying out for the first year, but we're always in a hurry and running behind, so we just found the first place to lock up the bikes and used that. But I think the bike valet would be a great option. And for the shuttle, if you are going to use it, it is free. And we were told go wait by the street because the shuttles will stop and pick you up right on the street as it crosses over. However, what we learned the hard way was if you just went straight to the street instead of the closest shuttle pickup in your RV lot, locals park and then wait at the street also. So most of the buses are full from picking up all the RVers driving around the lot, and then any seats they have, they pick up the people who have left their cars there and have now walked and are trying to use the free shuttles. So I hope that makes sense, but if you use the shuttles, use them inside the RV spots so you can get a spot on the bus and not be waiting in this huge line with the same people who are just parking there for the day.
Yeah, and they had like easy up canopies at these different shuttle stops, but also if you flagged down the shuttle person as they were driving by, they would generally stop.
Yeah, and the last thing is you're probably wondering if you can get a ride in these balloons, and we are way too late in the game. We set an alarm to buy our tickets a year in advance for this, and that's impressive. So anything else that you needed to buy in advance was off the table for us. So we have heard that you can buy a ride if you plan ahead, or we talked to someone there who was volunteering, and so they would kind of rotate the volunteers. So if that's something that interests you, is actually being a crew member and helping these balloons, you can find some information on the Balloon Fiesta for that as well. That's a lot of work though. Don't underestimate the work that those people do. You're getting up extra early, you're staying up extra late, and you're doing a lot of physical work to get these balloons in the air. So you might want to consider just buying a ride. And those are all of the tips and tricks that we have for you. If you've been to this event and you have additional tips and tricks, leave them in the comments so the other Fiesta newbies can go check them out, and let's just help the future Fiesta goers have their best event possible. And if you snag tickets for 2020, let us know. We'd love to know, if you're going and are you excited? So don't forget to like this video and subscribe to join our Getaway gang. We'll see you next time. Bye guys.
Hey, Jason here, coming to you from the...
Sound check, please.
It's loud.
I can hear a helicopter.
Okay, so why?
Okay. Why?
Why? What gives you the right?
So why? Why are we here in October, and why is it so cold?
No. I know that...
Oops.
Damn it. Okay.